I've got everything set to begin my home-based band workout routine. So here's what you need. Now I found more difficult than I thought to find a place where you can attach your bands. And you want to be able to attach them low by your feet, also by chest height, and also overhead. This is the only place I have here where I can use this post up to here, and then I can wrap it around up here. If you just had a single post, that would be ideal, because then you could tie it around anywhere. But the other consideration is it's got to be preferably something that's rounded and something that doesn't have a lot of jagged edges. There's another place where I could have wrapped it around, but it's just a 2x4, and any real harsh edges are going to ruin your band pretty quickly. And so, yeah, try to take care of these, especially, if you have the closed loop ones, which are more expensive. I gotta protect these, so I gotta make sure I'm looping them around something rounded. And up there, it's not great. So what I'm gonna try to do is I put this towel in between, so you can do something like that. My bands I got here, closed looped, and I have 4 different sizes. And again, you can use the open looped ones just the same for all of these. There's a way that you could even tie them off to make them closed loop. I don't have any here, so I can't show you that, but just know that you can do that. You can use those just the same. And I think having at least 3, even preferably like 5 different levels of resistance is really good, because then you can really make this a resistance training program and really develop your strength here. Because if you just have a little one and that's all you're doing for all of these movements, especially your legs, your deadlift motion and your squatting motions, you're really not. And if you're really like a pretty healthy, strong person already, you won't expect to gain any strength by just doing this program with a light band. You got to get some bigger ones. So this one I have here, I think is about, it's got to be close to 100 pounds of resistance once you stretch it. And I've heard that they measure these strength-wise based on when they get stretched to an additional 50% of their length. That's the length at which they're measuring the tension. So this one has about 100 pounds of tension. This one probably has 45. This one's probably like 80. And this one's like 45. And this one is probably 25. And this one is about 15. So totally depends, though, on what kind of bands you got. I have, let's see what brand this is. WOD Fitters. I'm using the WOD Fitters bands, but they have it in a bunch of different companies make them, and they're very similar. Unless WOD Fitters, if you hear me out there and you want to, collab on this, then I'll start promoting your stuff more intentionally. But also, some other movements that are on the program will call for just an open space that you can, actually I didn't bring my yoga mat out here, but I'll probably want to bring my yoga mat out, or any kind of flat mat that you can put your hands on. We got burpees in the program, and some lunges. You can have a knee down on a softer surface, and put your, in your push-ups, put your palms down on a clean surface. You want to get something like that. Steps, you need a step. And preferably you want this step to be at the height where when you step on it with one leg, the crease of your hip is level with your knee at least, or preferably if your knee is a little bit higher than the crease of your hip. I have here just a stairwell that I'll be using, and this is a little bit too low for me, but to demo, it will be fine. But it's going to be somewhere between 12 and 16-inch height is what you want. I also have a place to do some of the dips. I have two of these that I'll set up side by side, and on these I can do my press outs and my dips. And if maybe you only have one of a height this way, so you could just do all those press outs and dips a little bit differently. You can still get that work in. And then you're gonna be there's running in the program, so if you need to go on a treadmill or if you have a track nearby, you know, I can't run outside right now. It's snowing unless I have those little things on my feet, but I don't have those. And I also have a couple of random implements that I can use for resistance, and these are things you may have around your house. I happen to have these two pieces of metal, and this one's probably 20 pounds, this one's like 10 pounds. So, you know, I can hold these while doing some of these movements, and I'll explain that, which ones this might apply for later. And, you know, I also have some of these, some horseshoes, a couple pounds here. It could be, I got these 5-gallon buckets, or if you just have like a quart of liquid that you. The only thing is, though, consideration with any weighted implement that you add in here, just make sure it's safe. Nothing that's got a pointed edge on it. Nothing that's going to spill all over you. And also for the box, you may just be using like a box. Just make sure it's safe. You don't need to hurt yourself with this. That's the only precaution for at-home gyms. Sometimes stuff is put up all janky like, and that's the way to get hurt. So just make sure all your stuff is legit before you start cranking it out.